right, so I'm here today with Callie Krajcir, and she's going to be talking a little bit about how she took her business from ground zero. We just discussed it, it was ground zero, right? And then to where she was in April, she actually got 6 new clients, and that was around like 7,900 in revenue for her business, right? Now she's still growing, she's still getting clients in May. And I'm just super excited to be here with Callie. She's going to be talking about her kind of where she first started, what her niche is, so that you all can know, as well as what she feels like were the 3 big things that she changed in her business that allowed her to start getting clients consistently, especially at a point where I think we were also trying to figure out with your niche if you could get clients in that niche too, right?
Right.
Totally. So let's start first off and give us just a bit of a background about kind of when we first met, which I think was like 3 months ago, right? We met 3 months
Mhm.
ago, where your business was and everything.
Yeah. So 3 months I was working full time in a bariatric surgery center. Um, I thought I loved it. And then there was a point where I was just like, okay, this is not for me. I really don't like what I'm doing. And I had always wanted to work with people in my niche, which is interstitial cystitis. So it's a bladder condition that I've had my whole life. Essentially, the lining of the bladder has damage to it. There's no known cause of it, and there's also no known cure for it. So it's
Mm.
considered chronic illness, not defined as an autoimmune disease, but it's thought to be autoimmune related. So people with this condition they can have other autoimmune diseases as well. So luckily, I don't have any of that, but it has been something that I've struggled with my whole life. And it's the reason that I got into the nutrition field. So it's always been a goal of mine. And when I realized like this is not what I wanted to be doing, I just wanted to take the jump into my own business. And I saw what you were doing. And I thought, that's something that would be amazing if I could do. And, I was skeptical, but I did the jump and it was worth it.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited. I remember when we first spoke on the phone and you were telling me about this and how you really wanted to go into it. And you asked me, did I think it was possible for you to get clients in it? Right?
Yes, and that was the thing. It was like, is there a need for this? And
Mm-hmm.
I realized there's a huge need for this. Like
Yeah.
oh, I mean, there's maybe 2 or 3 dietitians in the United States that work with this specific niche. So I realized back when I was working with a physical therapist, she was like, I have nobody to refer to for these patients with interstitial cystitis for help with nutrition. And I was like, okay, that's perfect. Like I would love.
Yeah.
So that's where, it clicked for me. I was like, this is a service that's needed. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, I think something that's been so just, kind of beautiful about your own journey with your business is I remember we were first starting out and you were like, oh, can I do this? Right? Because you're like, yeah, I've had experience in it with my own self. Yes, I have a background in nutrition that's very dense. Yes,
Yes.
I've worked in like you were working in bariatric surgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then kind of now where you've transformed into, yeah, I can totally help these people, right?
Uh-huh.
And you're
Yeah.
getting clients consistent in it, and you're like, I feel great about this. From, should I do this, right? Because I know that was something that you
Yeah.
were a little worried
Most
about.
people, most people in your program had a business already, and I had nothing. And I I think that was better, honestly, just starting from nothing and building it up the correct way rather than starting with
Mm.
something and making all the mistakes on my own and then wasting money and then coming here. I saved a lot of time and
Yeah.
money.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I think, I think that's how, especially that's why it can be so helpful when you're first getting started. I honestly wish if I could go back to when I first started my business, I would have gotten help sooner.
Yeah.
Because the thing is I just was kind of like floundering in the wind, just trying to
Mhm.
figure out what to do. And
Yeah.
whenever you're getting started, you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing, right?
Mhm. Right.
And so, like you're saying, it could be so helpful to actually get just guidance. Okay, this is the direction that we're going in. This is what we need to be doing. And it just saves a lot of time.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like you tell me what to do and I do it and it works. And it's like, if I would try to do this on my own, like I mean, I think I can do some things, but like I had never heard of like a funnel before. I just had no idea what to do there. So it's
Sure.
definitely helpful to, have all these resources that you already know work and it's like the cheapest option for us. So I
Yeah.
think awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go into now. I'd love to hear from you kind of 3 things you changed in your business, right?
I don't
That
know if it's
allows you to get
necessarily
clients.
change.
Or
Oh, you mean,
implement it,
but
okay? Because we didn't have anything. So implement it, right? What were the 3 things that were you see as were kind of, you know, life changing, or that seems very like an exotic overstatement, but I couldn't find the right word I was looking for, so we're just gonna go with that,
yeah.
right? What were the best things that you implemented that helped the most? That's the way to put it.
The best thing I would say first would be like the group model, like because I
Mhm.
had no clients to begin with, so I didn't really have anything to build off of. So I kind of eased into it with like 3 people doing individual programs. But then once I started getting 4, 5, 6 people, I just made the transition 2 weeks ago to group calls with everybody,
Mm.
and that has saved me a whole lot of time, not doing individual phone calls, and that's
Yeah,
great. So that would probably be my first thing.
I love it.
Yeah. And okay, so the second thing I think that is time saving would be the pre-recorded modules, like just exactly how you do with this program. Like they
Hmm.
can do it on their own time, and I think that's a big sell for people, the fact that like you don't have to do anything at a specific time besides the group calls, and they have 2 options for that. So I think
Yeah.
that helps really sell it to people, and it makes it more convenient for me because I just have to do 12 videos, and that is just, you can do it as you go, and it's usually better to do it as you go. So
Hmm.
that has been a big time saver for me because I do a lot of other things on the side, and I'm also still working 3 days a week at my job,
Yeah.
so I have to really prioritize what I'm doing. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
And
great. So I think what you're kind of saying is it's super helpful for you because it frees up a whole lot more time for you.
mhm,
You built it as you got clients, right?
mhm,
Which also saves a tremendous amount of time, right?
mhm,
And
right.
then the second thing that was huge is that this is also way better for the clients too. A lot of
Mhm,
times we think one to one is better, and then we
yeah.
realize that, oh, wow, the group is actually even better than when I was working with people one to one, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. And it's funny because I recently signed a client in her 70s, I think,
Oh, wow.
and she does not know how to do anything technological. So I'm kind of teaching her how to use the internet as we go.
I like it. Great.
Like really needy, but I think it's good experience to have
Hmm.
people like, I think my youngest is maybe like 23, and my
Okay.
oldest being in her 70s. It's like you can serve that wide of a range of people
Yeah.
just with one platform. It's great.
Yeah. I think it's really great. I think it gives clients a lot more flexibility. You're still, if you structure it correctly, you can still give people really great kind of one to one attention with them, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
but without it being so like locked into set times for both you and them, you know?
Right. Being somebody with a chronic illness, you don't do well with plans. Like you
Mm.
have a flare up, and just be bedridden for the day. So it's like it never really works to have set times for anything with this population. So
Yeah.
they can do it time, and that's amazing.
I think that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's something I don't think I even considered, but yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
another fantastic part of this. Okay,
Uh,
great. What would you say is the third thing then?
the third thing that I want to, I guess, just talk about, like, how I started from charging a very small amount, and I'm making my way up throughout the, I don't know, throughout the range of, what I can charge. I feel like I've just gained confidence in
Yeah.
that. Before, you remember how uncomfortable I was with money?
Oh man. Yes, I do remember. I do remember.
I'm
And
like,
even what
just
I said is like, I was like, listen, you all should at least be charging this. You were like, Natalie, I can't.
have to just like start and like work on my self-confidence and then
Yeah.
move from, like, for
Yeah.
me it's baby steps, and I'll get there. It just might take a little bit longer.
Yeah. And I think too, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember we talked about this. And for you, you were really, and this is something we're still working on, right? Because this is an
Oh,
evolutionary thing,
oh yeah,
right?
it's definitely evolving. It's just so tough with a population who is chronically ill, and they spend all
Yeah.
their money on treatments, and they're on disability, so it's definitely a struggle for them. So I think that's kind of like the battle in my mind
I
of
think,
like knowing what it's
yeah.
worth, but also like not wanting to like put additional stress on them.
Sure, sure. And I know this is something we're still working on. And I think it's also very similar honestly to Crystal, right? Where she works with a lot of people with brain injury, concussion, all of that. And it can feel kind of like, am I being a bad person
Yeah.
to charge people who are sick, right? And who
Mm.
have an illness or who have something in their life where their health is not the best to then charge them money, right? Because we're coming from this place of I just really want to help people. That's why I started this thing. But I think too, and this is something that we've worked on with you as well as Crystal, right? Is
Hmm.
that realizing these people have to spend a ton of money on therapies that might not even be helping them.
Right, exactly. Like a lot of people in my program tell me like, "Oh, I saw this naturopath and I spent all my money on supplements and all of these strange therapies that might work." And it's like my like looking at your diet with interstitial cystitis is one of the least invasive treatments that you can get. So why would you not start there?
Yeah,
So, I know it'll work, but they don't know it'll work.
right. And I think as you continue to, because we're still working on the confidence piece. It's grown so much though, so much, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
It
know,
has.
because you were kind of, I was like, we got to raise it more. And you're like, Natalie, I don't think I can. I don't think anybody's going to pay for it. Yet you've continued to raise it and people are continuing to pay for it.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, they are definitely willing to pay for it. It's usually it comes down to like the payment plan aspect of it, which is
Mm-hmm.
fine,
Yeah.
but very flexible with them. And if they need help, I definitely try to work with them.
Yeah. I think that's great, Callie. Well,
Yeah.
where do you see, because we're still very early in our business, right? Where do you
Mhm.
see this going in the future?
I see. Well, my goal is within like the next 2 months to hopefully quit my current job and make
I
this
like
full
it.
time.
I like it. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's the goal. I definitely think it's doable. I just really need to, focus on everything that I've been doing. And, I'm doing a webinar next week. So I'm hoping to get a lot of new people from that. So we're growing slowly.
I think you're growing pretty fast, to be honest.
We're growing
You
pretty,
know,
pretty
I think, I mean, it's all relative, right? I think you're
yeah.
growing at a really good rate, right?
Yeah.
We're getting clients. We're getting
Yeah.
used to getting clients. We're increasing our prices and we're getting more confident in that. And we're just
Mm-hmm.
going to get even better and better and better, right?
And
At both
yeah.
helping people and getting clients and feeling confident in charging people, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got a great question. What
Okay.
advice? Okay, this is something I hadn't asked people previously, but what advice? Oh, wait, now I've got two questions. Sorry, I'm bouncing all over the head. Where am I at?
Okay.
Okay, we'll do the first one I thought of first. Okay,
Okay.
question number one. What advice would you give someone that maybe they're starting out and they're feeling really, really bad about like charging money or charging more, right? Because sometimes we'll
Okay.
charge, but we're like, whatever you want to pay me is good, right?
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
I think it just comes down to like knowing your worth. Like you are the expert in that niche. So, you need to get paid for all of the work and the expertise that you bring. So I think, I mean, if I could go back and tell myself 2 months ago, like, you're fine to charge more than what you're doing, like that would have been great. But, you trial and error apparently with me. I'm very resistant to some changes. So I would definitely tell people or give them the advice to, just go all in for it. And, if they're going to pay for it, they're going to pay for it. And if they're not, they're not. So.
That's great. Okay, second question, and then we'll wrap it up, right? So for people who are starting at really, really ground zero, because I don't even think you had a social media account
No.
you had nothing. Like when we say it was ground zero, it was nothing.
It was.
Right? It wasn't like, oh, I had no clients, but I had an Instagram. It was nothing, right? What advice would you give people out there who are like, oh, I really want to start my business, but man, I have nothing?
I would give them the advice to participate in a program like yours where, because you need that help. They don't teach us in nutrition school that, how to do a business or how to, make money outside of like a hospital or, a nursing home, whatever the heck that they teach us. They don't teach us anything else. So, especially me, like I had no idea how to do anything. And, it definitely does save you the time and the money to just invest in your business right off the bat, because it will save you all of that, in the long run.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Callie, for talking with us today and sharing your story. And I'm super excited to see where you're going to be in the next few months. We might have to check in with you again, see how it's going in the next few months.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be great.